This event, you'll please fill out the attendance sheet, which I'll put in the chat box. And this will just help us with your email, so we can send out the takeaways for you, and you can get our PowerPoint that we'll be working on today, that you'll be seeing today. Materials that you'll need today as well are as follows. You'll need a piece of paper or with a pen or a pencil for drafts. And we invite you to turn on your Zoom camera if you feel comfortable. And we do ask you to stay muted unless you're sharing a story or experience or thoughts. And you may use the chat box feature at any moment or any time if you have any question or comments. And you can use the reaction buttons freely.
Power and reclaim my voice, but I'm so grateful.
I'm hearing.
That's what's.
Oh, okay. And you can use the reaction buttons, and we'll be using the breakout rooms today, if need be, if we have a large enough group, to share any thoughts and experiences on a more of a personal, intimate setting. And at the end of the presentation, Renee will explain the survey and the takeaways for this event. So joining us today again is myself. I'm Natalie. I'm an advisor for the College of Health and Human Sciences Student Success Center, and I'll pass it over to Renee.
Hi everyone, I'm Renee. I am also an advisor in the College of Health and Human Sciences Student Success Center. I'm going to pass it over to Talisha.
Hi everyone, my name is Talisha Teague, and I'm also an academic advisor for the College of Health and Human Sciences Student Success Center. Back to you, Natalie.
All right, thank you. And also with us today are Jimma from the CAPS Center, as well as Sam. And so I'll be introducing Jimma, and then Jimma will introduce Sam. So let me go ahead and introduce Jimma. It's my pleasure to introduce her today. Jimma is not only an alumni of the San Jose State University Counselor Education Program, she has been a lecturer at San Jose State University for more than 15 years. Woohoo! And she began her career at SJSU by teaching EdCo 4, which is Personal, Academic, and Career Development. And then in 2016, she expanded her role into a full-time coordinator of educational programming with the SJSU Counseling and Psychological Services. Her areas of special interests are in educational and career development, especially serving student athletes, international students, first-generation college students, and student parents. Jimma's passion stems from seeing students reach for their personal goals, grow from academic challenges, and discover their career pathways while building confidence, becoming empowered, and being heard. She is known by many of her EdCo 4 students as Mrs. J. Jimma, thank you for your expertise today, and I'll hand the floor over to you.
Thank you so much, Natalie. Our peer mentor, Sam, will be here shortly. We have many things to do, and she's still in class, but I will introduce her when she gets here. I'm going to share my screen so that you can see some information. Make sure I share everything. So today's topic is online learning strategies, presented by myself and Sam, and hosted. Thank you so much. So just quickly and briefly, counseling and psychological services, all our services are online right now. So to get in touch with CAPS, just call our number. Our website, SJSU SAMI, also has our contact information, as well as all the different events that we host during the semester. We have workshops such as these, learning style. A lot of my personal counselors do calm, meditation, mindfulness, etc. So counseling and psychological services have online, Zoom or phone, personal educational, case manager, and psychiatry appointments. And you can just get in touch by all these numbers and all these places to find us. Before we get started with our topic, we have a icebreaker. So while thinking about creating short-term and long-term goals, reflect on your 2020. What would you like to improve or change for the new year? And I'm going to stop share, and Natalie will lead us into the Jamboard.
Thank you so much. So the Jamboard, if you guys are familiar with it, I'm sending you the link right now in the chat box, and then I will share my screen so everyone can view it. So Jamboard is essentially a document that everyone can see at the same time and add to their, put their answers at the same time. And so as I can see here, Renee's joined. Just simply go ahead and either copy the link and paste it into your web browser or click on the link. And once people have joined, we'll go ahead and start. Let me just show you the toolbar on the left side. So to answer the question of what, reflecting on your 2020, what would you like to improve or change for the new year? You simply either select the T here, the image, to insert a text box, T for text box. You can add a Post-it note, or you can add an image. So you could search an image and upload and add it here. So what would you like to improve or change in the new year? You can use any of these, or you can draw if you want to draw your answer. So go ahead and do that now. And let me just think of what would be my answer. So panelists, if you want to join in, you can.
Can we put more than one answer?
Sure. Nice. Self-care. So if anyone's having problems with the link, go ahead and let me know and I can help you. So we have here self-care, creating and staying consistent with a schedule. Totally agree with that. Career experience, internships. Yeah, that's tough with this new way of living for now. Being more organized, wanting to travel once the pandemic is over. Yeah, whoever said that. Where would you like to travel? Taking more breaks when studying to avoid burnout. I know it seems like we're in front of the screen more, that we feel more busy than when we were just out and about, taking more mental breaks. Improve my mental organization of classes with everything online. It's hard to make clear separation sometimes, definitely. So yeah, if there's anyone else that would like to add a little more, feel free, but I'll give it a couple more, seconds, and then we'll move on. Time management and
Jotting some of these down so I know what to kind of mention when we go into our topic.
Oh, okay. Definitely, we try to be moving our bodies as possible, but we are like sitting in front of a screen. So even though you feel like you've worked out and moved your body, it just seems like you are still stagnant. So yeah, it's a different way of living for sure. Make more balanced meals. Yeah, be easier on myself. Well done. Thank you so much.
And kudos that person that said be easier on myself. Yes, we have to be kind to ourselves. Because in our own little pod, sometimes that's all we have for 8 hours a day. We're all in our little pod and we're doing our work and all of that kind of stuff. And then we forget, oh wait.
Yeah, better sleep.
Oh, well, for me, I'm very motivated by food. So it's like, did I have my piece of chocolate today? Or
Yes.
Am I going to need that piece of chocolate? Okay, so I will go into, we're still waiting for Sam, but we can move forward.
Okay. Thank you so much.
I
It
will
looks like someone wants to
share.
draw something. But I'll go ahead and stop the screen share.
Oh yeah, but definitely keep adding to that. So our agenda for today, we did a little bit of introductions and our icebreaker. So our 4 topics will be location and equipment, actually 5 topics. Location and equipment, time management, which a lot of you had mentioned in terms of mental organization, breaks, scheduling, and just kind of balancing. So we're going to be talking a lot about that. Well-being, Zoom fatigue, it is a real thing. Communication. And then at the end, what are you going to change and commit to? So kind of thinking about, it's not going to be like this new year kind of thing where you're like, okay, I'm going to feng shui my room. I'm going to clear out that closet. I'm going to, start working out. I'm going to get a dog. Or, all of these different changes. So thinking about small change for big impact. Okay, so remember that when we're going through our different tips. So I'm gonna try to make sure that I can see when Sam comes in so I can introduce her. But before that, I'll go into our time management block here, which is this one. So what existing time management tools do you have on hand? I have several samples that I'd like to show you, and what can you use? Now, I have lost everyone's faces, so I can't see what I look like when I'm showing you all these, but that's fine. Okay, so there's this calendar, which is about as big as my head. But the boxes are like really, really small. So you can only put a couple of details, or at least know what day is it today. Because there are some weeks where like, is it Thursday today? Or is it Wednesday? Or is it already Friday, please? And then the next size for wall calendars is this size. So you can have a little more detail. You can put people's birthdays and to-do dates and all of that kind of stuff. Maybe when things are due or when you have midterms. And papers and things like that, and that could go on your wall. And then we have this, which is more of a, oh, I know what I can do. Haha. Because my square is probably like super tiny right now. Okay, or the desk calendar, or you can put it on your wall. Here, I have a lot of students that put more detail on here, and they can plan where they can do essays, and due dates and all of that kind of stuff, and hopefully not miss anything. And then you can go to a planner, which has monthly and weekly, and then you can go hour to hour. I can show you a blank page over here. So there's hour to hour kind of thing. And we're going to do a time log that kind of looks a little bit like this a little bit later on. And then there's also the bullet journal. So what is your existing tool and how are you keeping yourself organized? Hi, Sam. Sam is here, yay. So I'm gonna do the time management thing really quickly and then go back into location and equipment in a couple of minutes, okay?
Okay, sure.
So thinking about the tools that you are utilizing. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. We're going into a quick activity using this time log. So this is how I get my students organized. So if I can have Natalie kindly share with our students the demo sheet.
Sure.
And I'll do a quick demo and then I'll have you build your own time management log. Okay. I'll stop share real quick. Natalie?
Yes, I just shared it in the chat box.
Okay, so in the chat box, Natalie put the demo sheet of our Google Docs. So you'll see me there, but I'll show you a different demo on this sheet, and then I'll have you do your own sheet. Okay. Let's do a basic share. Whoop. Ah. Hang on one sec. Okay. So how to build this time management planner. First, we have to talk about negotiable and non-negotiable time. So negotiable time is kind of like free time, you time, and things like that. But non-negotiable time is when you have class, when you have clubs and associations, when you have your work schedule, or you have other commitments to other people. So our first thing to set is when would we like to start?
Looks like Gemma froze, so she may be needing to come back. Just hang tight. If you have any questions, now's the time. If you have any questions, or if you are unable to open up the document, let us know.
I guess this would be a great time for me to introduce
Start our.
Oh, or is Jima back? Jima's here.
Am I back?
Yes, you're back.
Oh my goodness. I apologize for the blip. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. All right. So we have wake, sleep, and meals as our first thing. So we have breakfast, lunch, and dinner here. The next is to build on our classes. And I've marked the different classes as asynchronous or synchronous. So for our synchronous classes, they are Mondays and Wednesdays, and then we have a lab on Friday. But the classes that we mostly forget is our asynchronous classes because we don't schedule it. So I've actually scheduled the asynchronous class on Tuesdays starting at 3. So then we can see we still have a lot of blank spaces to do other things. So now we add our clubs, which is this bit, and then our work schedule. So we're only working Friday through Saturday and Sunday. Now we fill in our study time. Okay, so these are possible blocks that we can use to study. And usually during midterms and finals, I have my students name the blocks of time and what they're going to be doing. So for example, if you had a paper, and don't start 24 hours before the paper is due, right? So research your topic, read your research, annotate, write your bibliography, then your first draft. Then you have a peer review or your teacher review and write your second draft. Take a day off. Well, it's not really a day off because you're working. And then edit, write your conclusion, and then edit again, and then submit. So that's kind of how to use that. And then there's still some time to schedule me time as well. So there's these different blocks here. So you can see that not every moment is scheduled, but based on this, what I would like you to do is go to the sheet that I shared with you, this one. And each sheet you can see at the bottom, just put your name on it, right? So rename that sheet. And I would like you to take about 5 or so minutes just building on your time management planner. And then we'll take a couple of minutes to talk about it. taking a look. Zivak, you're on your iPhone. Are you at least able to see the picture?
Yes, I can see the picture. Yeah.
Okay,
But,
cool.
put my
Yeah,
hands.
you can't build. Right now you can't build, but it's shared with you. So you have access to this after the workshop if that's something that you kind of want to build.
Okay, thank you.
And Cyril and Gerald, if you want to take sheet 1 and copy of 1 or take any of the sheets, just kind of see if you can build and highlight based on the demo sheet. And Elton too. Do you all have access to this? Yes? Oh, and there's Tiffany too. Okay, so we'll just build on this for a couple of minutes and then we'll move on to our other topics. And then Miss Natalie, since we have a small group, should we just stay in the main room while we share?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, we'll do maybe 5 minutes on this. Checking in. No one's kind of building. Go ahead, Natalie.
I was going to say, now's the time if you guys have any questions or areas of challenge that you're facing that you would like to put in the chat box, or you can unmute yourselves, you feel free to do so. This is a community of wanting to inspire belongingness, and we can all agree that we've all been learning this new way of being at home virtually learning or working. So now's the time to vent if you want to.
Also, Miss Natalie, could you put the link again? One of our students is still looking
Sure.
for access to the template.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, we'll do a couple more minutes. I don't see anyone building at the moment, but at least you have the template and a copy of the demo sheet here that you can.
I think it's because we just had access to the view only version. What I did was I just made a copy for myself. So I just need a copy of the document onto my drive.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Anita, for letting us know. Sorry about that.
No problem.
We always get defeated by technology. But I'll make sure that you have access to a version that you can share as an editor. Let me try this.
I think you'd have to change it because it says anybody who can get the link can view. So you'd have to edit. Yeah. So share, and then it says change. And then, yeah, you might have to.
Here, editor. Okay, let's try this again. Thank you. Well, maybe this is a good time for me to segue and introduce Sam. Hi, Sam. Sam is a peer mentor at SJSU Peer Connections. This is her second semester, or actually now third semester, right, Sam? Serving as a peer educator.
Well, it'd be my second because yes, last semester was my first. So
okay,
second.
She's had an active role as a lead tutor for 2 years at her alma mater, Chabot College. She graduated and transferred to San Jose State with an associate degree in communication studies. And currently she's looking forward to finishing her degree with her bachelor's in communications in the spring. Samantha's strengths and values, line patience, persistence, and being an active learner. A quote she lives by is do or do not. There is no try, by our master Yoda. And I also recently discovered we have a similar love for planners and stickers. So we meet regularly to talk about that. All right, so hopefully some of you had a chance to build on. Sam, did you have a time management planner log to share?
I do not on
Okay.
Doc, but I do have my passion planner that I can show everybody.
Oh yeah, let me stop share so your square is bigger.
So can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So this is my passion planner. I recently got it. It's nice. It's embossed. It got leaves on it. It's personalized. And so what I love about this planner is that it is very similar to what Jima has. It has this like really nice itemization of, you know, from what time it is, from early in the morning to late at night. And I get to put in, you know, my work schedule. So in the mornings, I'm embedded into a class to mentor. And then after that, I have times to run, times to do homework, and then also meetings with Jima sometimes, and also my class structures. So I really like to start at the beginning of the week and just to write down my dailies. What do I have to do? What is blocked off, like Jima said? What are the negotiables and what are the non-negotiables? So that's like eating and sleeping, and you know, homework. Those are some of my top priorities. So yeah, what's great about the passion planner is that it's not just a planner. You can also use it as a journal. Most of the times, like the ones that you get from Target, they're very, I think, limiting in my opinion, because everything's boxed out. But with the passion planner, I feel like I'm selling an item right now, like an advertisement. But it's really nice to put your thoughts down, your to-do list. It even has a priority list for you to say, what is the top priority, a regular priority, and then some errands. So it's really nice to get creative with it, add some stickers. And one of them here, I'm going to show you real quick if I could find the page. But I made this one a little more personalized by adding photos and just highlighters, just pastel things. So that's how I kind of organize my life, along with just using a regular notebook. I love pen and paper because I feel like that is the best way for me to know what's going on in my life, because when you write things down on, I guess, Google Calendar, you tend to forget because things can be deleted. So I like to just have like a to-do list where I take a look at all my homework assignments, write it down, color code it, and then just cross it out once I finish it. So I have two big pieces of organization, I guess you can say. One is a planner that helps with the schedule, and then the other is just a to-do list of my assignments.
Thank you, Sam. I think one of the things in terms of your time management tool is consistency of use, that you actually look at it at least once a day and then spend more time at least once a week kind of figuring out what is coming up next week, planning your more longer term projects and things like that. I have here for my listers, yes, crossing items off my list is definitely a great feeling. But I'd like to pause and have you share what you either did for your time management planner, or share what you actually use, either in the chat box, or I welcome you to turn on your mic. Just share some of the tools that you use and are trying to make better use of for this semester. I'll pick on Anita first. Anita, how did that time management log work for you?
I liked it. It reminded me of a planner that I had a few years back, which I was in love with and never found anything like it again. So I did like it. But something that I've been using so far since you asked was a bullet journal, to just because I like the flexibility it gives me to maybe 1 week I want to do one layout and another week I want to do a different layout for my week. And I use that as a way, I guess, of self-care, because it's just like some time to just doodle and do art and things like that. So I've been using that so far for this semester.
Great. Awesome. I'm just going to put a quick plug where we have a bullet journal workshop in the next couple of weeks if you kind of want to join and share and stuff like that. I actually started a bullet journal in July or June of last year. So kind of working it out.
Yeah.
Let's go to Gerald. How about you? Did you try the time log, or what kind of time management tools do you use at the moment?
Can you all hear me all right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So I actually use something really similar to the time management log. Would I have access to share my screen, possibly? Okay, let me go ahead and share my screen really quickly. So this is what mine looks like, and it's a very similar format to what we were working on earlier. So can you all see that okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, so I have it set up, Monday through Sunday, all the way from 6:30 a.m. till midnight. And it kind of just helps me, set up a schedule and stay consistent to it. Looking back at the board earlier that we started in the Icebreaker, I was the one that put, staying consistent to a schedule and sticking to it. So I found this to be really helpful. So I use this a lot too.
Awesome.
That's great.
Great share. Really, really like it.
Yeah, of course.
I like how there's a part for Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
it's important to relax.
Gotta have that self-care time.
Yeah.
Okay, Miss Tiffany, would you like to share real quick? Did you use the time management planner, or what tools do you use right now?
Management planner, but it would not let me edit it. So I was trying to figure it out. So I kind of got a little behind.
Oh, that's okay. So I'll definitely make sure that all of you have access. I did put a new link, and hopefully that will work out for you if that's something that you want to use. Are you looking for a new time management structure, or did you have one before?
I'm looking for a new one.
Okay, so hopefully some of the ideas today, you'll maybe try a few, right?
Yes, because I really like this one. I think this will work for me because it's colorful and pretty.
Cool. Yeah, so we'll definitely make sure that everyone has that link before we end today. Let me move on to more of our tips. Let me try that one more time. Yeah, it's not letting me do it. You can see all my little things. Okay, hang on. Go here, go here, go here. Yay. Okay. So just a few more time management tips. As you saw from Gerald's example, that there's a morning and a sleep routine so that your body clock doesn't do this, especially if you have like a 7:30 exam and then you didn't go to bed until 4:30. That would be really bad. Another thing would be, don't work in your PJs, like dress head to toe. And even on the maybe the days that you present or things like that, even wear shoes. Set alarms set real work hours. So it's kind of like if you have an 8 to 5, then stay 8 to 5 so that you avoid what we call work creep, which is kind of like, okay, I'm going to step away. It's 5 o'clock. I'm going to step away. It's like, okay, wait. Let me check my email real quick, or let me check oh, somebody pinged me. And then you're going to be sitting at your, desk until 9 o'clock. So discover your productivity. Are you more productive in the morning or in the evening? I'm a night owl, so I'll be working until midnight. But I actually met a couple of students just this past week where they actually start at 4:30, but they're in bed by 8:45. And then that's their productivity period and their work time. So we had Miss Sam share her passion planner already, and we shared quotes and things like that. Sam, is there anything that you want to add before we go into the topic of location and equipment?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything. I just like to reiterate, like, find what works for you. Again, some people may not like writing things down. Some people may like creating Excel spreadsheets. So there's just so many ways to manage your time through productivity apps or, planners. So really do some research and utilize your resources here to find out what works for you. All right, so are we gonna go
to, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to talk about location and equipment. So by looking at this picture, there's a left side and a right side. I know some days my desk looks like the right side where it's just totally chaotic, probably on a Friday when my work week is done. Or it could be the left, maybe a Sunday where I begin to pick up all the clutter and fix everything up for Monday. So I really like to reiterate the importance of building your own workspace. At the very beginning of COVID, I know that I worked on my bed a lot, and I worked in random places of my home just to get things done, and it wasn't working for me. So it's very important to build that workspace that works for you through many things, like investing in technology, the furniture, headphones, maybe special headphones to keep everything silent. I know that Apple has the Apple Pro AirPods. That's really crazy. Or you could just get some really cheap ones, with the cushion, like what Jima has. One thing that I really invested in was the technology. Working in a home with my younger brother, who's also in high school, we tend to use the Wi-Fi a lot. And because we're always in Zoom meetings, my Wi-Fi would crash. So we end up getting a new router. So I really want to press on the idea of building a space that works for you and something that you really want to work in. And experiment with different places. Maybe it's not your bed. Maybe it's not the desk in your room. Maybe it's the kitchen table. Sometimes those days work. Just create an environment that eases you into being more productive and getting your work done. So we already talked about time management. I guess we'll skip on to well-being, right? Okay. So this is one of my favorite things. Sometimes it's our last thing on our mind to stretch, eat well, because, we're probably sitting down in front of a computer for maybe 6 hours at a time, or just continuously doing homework. But I really believe in filling up my cup before helping others, because if I don't help myself, who will? So I really want to tell y'all, just, I guess, have intention to your well-being. And I seen in Gerald's, time management calendar that he has time to the gym in the morning, which is excellent. I wish I could do that, but I am also a night owl. I like doing things in the afternoon. So that's a really great way to check in with yourself and take care of yourself. Take short breaks. Breaks are so important. I am a break queen. again, breaks are very important. We're going to get into another part of why breaks are so important in the next slide. Staying off social media. I had to get off social media for a cool minute because I know how that can affect me and my productivity levels. Listening to music, leaving the house. One thing that I implemented in my life is running. I was not a running type person before, but I implemented that because I wanted to get some fresh air. I realized, with COVID and the pandemic, I was indoors, just a lazy potato, but I knew I had to get out some way or the other. And the very last one is very important also, learning how to say no. As a woman in this institution, I feel that I'm always saying yes to any opportunity, but sometimes it can get a little overwhelming for some people. And I had to practice saying no, and saying no is okay. Again, fill up your cup before you can help others. Just say no. All right, so we're going to look at this picture. It says 50 ways to take a break. And so I kind of want all of y'all to pick out 4 different activities that you feel like will work for you, or things that you already do. Take a couple of minutes and then either shout it out loud or type it in the chat box. It'd be really nice.
Yes, you'll note while you take a look at this picture that none of them have to do with technology, or except for call a friend. I just noticed that one. It says call a friend, not Zoom a friend.
Yes. I love doing that one.
So yeah, think of 4 things that you may be able to do this semester to either reward yourself for doing some work, or just taking a break away from this pod right here. Oh, I found my chat box. I lost it for a while.
I love stretching. Yoga is like one of my favorite activities to do.
Snack break. Me and Gerald.
Snack bag under my desk.
I have a snack shelf over here on this side. All right, we're going to move on to this before we go into our next topic.
Okay, so I'm going to do my best to describe the law of diminishing returns. So it sounds very scientific, but I'm going to break it down for you all. So the definition of this is, it is the decrease in output in a production process as the process is increased. So what does that mean? So let's take studying, for example. If we continue to study for 5 hours at a time with no break, we end up getting more tired. The benefits of just studying for hours at a time, you will not retain any information. Nothing will work. However, if you do 1 hour of studying with a 10-minute break in between, as you can see in the output, you will have, with periodic breaks, you'll be more productive. There are more benefits to retain your information. So again, you will have more benefits to having breaks in between your study time than actually studying for a long period of time. Did I define that?
Yes, you did. You did. So for students that I work with that have never ever studied before, they're like, Jim, I've never studied before. I'm like, okay, I'll give you a 50-50, meaning 30 minutes of study time and 30 minutes of whatever you want to do. But sometimes 30 minutes is way too much time, because then we spiral into one more YouTube. It's definitely long enough for a Netflix episode. You don't even have to move anymore with Netflix, because every 16 seconds, the next episode appears. So you don't have to move. So the sweet spot is about 50-10, especially during midterms and finals. So 50 minutes of either studying or writing your essay or whatever, and then 10 minutes break, and then go on for 50 minutes and so on and so forth. And the hope is that your productivity will be higher with those breaks. And those are stretch breaks, get off your station and keep moving, right? Apologies, I have a lot of ambient noise. My printer is doing something weird, but ignore it. All right, we're going to our next topic, which is, because we are in Zoom University, we are also going to talk about Zoom fatigue. And with that, I have a short video. So I'm going to mute me, and hopefully that'll help with the ambient noise.
Gima, we can't hear it.
We don't hear it.
Please hold. Okay. New share.
Should I try?
Oh, no, I got it. I forgot to do this part. Okay. Go.
Has since turning his.
You got me?
Yes.
Anyone working from home has likely heard that.
Can you hear me okay?
Stefan Collenberg sure has since turning his living space into office space.
My water, my podcast microphone.
We reached him for one of his half-dozen daily video meetings.
Those are between like 30 minutes and an hour. And that's like a good day. So there's some days if I look at my calendar, it's been like 8 or 9 times a day.
Must be exhausting.
I just want to like vegetate almost and lie there.
What he's feeling has become known as Zoom fatigue, a type of mental strain that can come from any video conferencing. Judy Lee gets it too, ever since the pandemic has kept her inside, away from her usual in-person meetings.
I do feel like every time I got off of a Zoom call, I had to go lie down.
Back-to-back meetings can be tiring, so what makes video chats worse? When that webcam light turns on, experts say the pressure to perform kicks in. Plus, seeing yourself staring back at you only makes things worse.
It's really hard not to be self-conscious and keep looking back up at that corner of the screen where you're seeing yourself. The other thing is we're not used to staring at people intently with eye contact.
That's why it can be so uncomfortable having so many colleagues all staring back at you all at the same time, each in their own little box, in what some call Hollywood Squares mode.
With Tom Bergeron, your host, all on Hollywood Squares.
Yes, it can be much less fun than that old game show, so experts suggest turning off your camera if you're just listening, or finding another way to chat altogether.
We're assuming we need to have Zoom meetings whenever maybe we need to be doing something else instead.
I'm good, how are you?
Judy Lee found a low-tech solution, picking up the phone more often.
It's what I did before this whole pandemic thing happened. And so I think I'm going to go back to that. That's wonderful.
Thomas Dagg, CBC News, Toronto.
I was on mute. Okay. So Zoom fatigue is the exhausting, draining, or tired feeling after a Zoom call or, 8 to 5, right? So what can you do to deal with Zoom fatigue? Have a schedule, like I was saying, when is your work schedule or your school schedule or your class schedule? Schedule breaks, snacks, stretching, relaxing your eyes. I actually bought my daughter those blue screen glasses, actually, and she says that's actually quite useful after a whole day of school. Hide your self view. But for me, I'm an extroverted presenter, so now I can't see your faces, so I don't know if you can actually hear me or anything, so that kind of makes me uneasy. Avoid multitasking. Here's one that I wanted to definitely mention when somebody said mental organization. Because we have our screens, and then on my side, I have my kitchen, and then on this side, I have my pantry, and on this side, my husband is on Zoom, and then on that side, my daughter's on Zoom, and things like that. And there's a lot of multitasking happening, is to actually just focus on one thing, because this is second semester of Zoom school. Sometimes our brain is taking on too much load that when we're trying to focus on like a paper or an exam or things like that, we have like this brain fog. So try not to multitask as much anymore. And then schedule a screen-free time as well as a hobby that has nothing to do with screens. And hopefully that will help with the Zoom fatigue as well as the mental organization too. Because right now, if I stand up and walk across the threshold of my kitchen, I forget what I'm looking for. Our last two topics really quickly now, thinking about the commitment that you're going to make. The next one is communication, because a lot of our communication is through our little boxes and through our little pods and things like that. When we do our check-ins with our coworkers, with our group mates, and things like that, there are other ways to check in with them. I was introduced to something called GroupMe, which is kind of like an app kind of thing. Some people have talked about Slack or other check-in things that's not exactly on camera. The next is just declaring your work from home availability and not be accessible all the time, especially with our phone, like everything pings on our phone, right? So maybe turn off some of those notifications because we don't need to be tied to our technology all the time. Assume positive intent, meaning that you can't read tone from an email. You can't read tone from a text message. So be kind to yourself and be kind to others and assume that their messaging has positive intentions with communication. And then this one, make an effort to connect beyond work. Just kind of casual check-ins, and that could be like a text message, like, hey, how was your day? How are you doing? You know, what did you treat yourself with today? Kind of thing. Okay. Last two items are things that actually can help you away from screen time. I have not used any of these, so if you have, go ahead and put it in the chat box, but I've heard good things about freedom, stay focused, and waste no time. I think freedom is the only one that's free. And then I don't know what this app is, but there's one I know that you can like grow trees, and every time you're away from your apps or things like that, you can grow like trees and plants and flowers and things like that. But basically it blocks, let's say, social media, Netflix for a certain period of time during the day. So you can't even turn it on so that you can be able to focus your work and not procrastinate on your work. The last thing to mention is there are many self-help apps and resources produced by our campus partners. So we have Learn Anywhere. I'm going to say, the Learn Anywhere is a website created by San Jose State where you can get support if you have tech issues. It has a quiz on your online readiness and things like that. If you would like outdoor activities, social distancing, our website created by students, SJSU Loves SJ, has activities that you can do that's social distancing and safe, but outdoors. And the last two is You at SJSU. It's like a Calm app, but it's also free for students. And it gives you videos and articles on stress management. And then last is Therapy Assistance Online, also similar. It has like meditation apps and things to help you with stress management. Phew, I can't see anyone's faces. So I'm going to go to our last slide. And in your chat box, please kindly share based on the things that Sam and I have shared today. What would you like to change that would make most impact at this time? And kindly share that in the chat box. And while you do that, I'm going to mute myself and hopefully see if I can. Maybe if I stop share, I can see everyone. There is everyone. Okay. So yes, in the chat box, what kind of things would you like to change? Small change, big impact. Or I welcome you to turn on your mic as well.
Can I share one that I have broken? That I've but I had a really terrible sleeping schedule last semester. I had a 7:30 a.m. and that was so difficult. And I'd end up sleeping maybe 2, 3 in the morning. I don't know how, but I would wake up pretty late. But I am now a morning person. I'm able to wake up at 7:30 without any alarms. So that is one habit that I've built over the last couple of weeks. Yes, definitely. Committing yourself to breaks to maintain productivity.
Hello.
I feel that. Jima, yeah, you paused a little bit.
Was it me?
You're back though.
Was it you, Sam? Oh, okay, I'm back. Okay, so it was me. You glitched on my screen.
Oh, I glitched too. I'm sorry, y'all.
No, I think it was from my side. But yes, kindly either share like Sam either in the chat box. Let's see. Miss Tiffany, yes.
Okay, for me, hi everybody. Learning to take a break because I just have so much going on that, you know, I'm just kind of like, I got to push through. Okay, I'll get a break after I'll do this. After I do this, just one more thing, just one more thing, one more thing. So, you know, by being here today, it's really like helping me to realize that I can't just go back to back to back to back to back. I need to allow some breaks and learn how to say no.
I love it.
That's awesome. Thank you. And Gerald shared too. And Elton shared too. Thank you. Checking on friends and family. Yes.
Elton,
isolation can be long. And Elton.
Creeping is it like?
Oh yeah, it meant work creep. Like just what I was saying, like, you know, it's like you step away and then you're like, oh wait,
okay.
More emails or stuff. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And Talisha said self-care. Yes, definitely. Anita, are you still with us? Would you like to share the one thing? Cool.
I had also said that I wanted to commit myself to breaks in order to maintain productivity because a lot like Miss Tiffany, a lot of times I'm like, oh, I if I just read one more paragraph, maybe I'll get it. And then like I end up just burning out and like reading for hours and not getting anything or feeling that way at least. And so like even today I tried practicing it because like I made breakfast and then I had a sink full of dishes and I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna do them right now. I'm gonna do them on one of my breaks. So it kind of, I was like forgiving myself from having to do the cleaning right away. So that was a big one for me, at least.
Yes, chores aren't breaks, even though I have a sink full right now, like an actual break from those things. And that's kind of like the work creep too, because everything is kind of like accessible. You look at the floor, you're like, oh, it needs sweeping or something. Grace?
Yes.
Is there something you wanted to share in terms of commitment or what you would like to change? Small impact or small change, big impact?
Just try to create that schedule you made, the time management. Yeah, I'm gonna do that because I'm not writing stuff down, and yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna try to do your time management planner that you put on the And yeah, so maybe I can get more motivation if I see it to do it. Yeah.
Thank you, Grace. Awesome. I am looking at the time. It is 5:03. So I know that Natalie or Talisha has some closing remarks before we end today.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jima and Sam. This is fantastic. I know for me, I'm juggling a bunch of things at home between work and chores and kids in school. So having those little 5 minutes to kind of either go outside and just get a breath of fresh air, or managing time to go check and make sure, okay, who's got what going on? Do I need to help anybody? You know, getting myself organized is my biggest thing. And we still don't have it quite right. We're still juggling and we're still trying to figure it out. But yeah, thank you so much for all of this great information. I will be, actually, I have a survey that I am putting the link in the chat. So if everyone would go ahead and fill that out, that would be fantastic. That way we can get some feedback. But we will send out a copy of the PowerPoint slides. So you have that information. We'll make sure you have a copy of the time log sheet if you weren't able to access it. And then I'll make sure to include the resources from the resource slide as well. But thank you all so much for coming and for participating. And oh, Grace, you have a question?
Yes, I do. So
okay.
You know that time management document you guys sent out, the shared one? So should we like download it, or how do we?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can totally download that. I think, Jima, you figured out a way to share it so that people have more than just the link, or to just view access.
Yeah, no, I think now you can download it. And then I think Anita she downloaded it and saved it, her own copy of it. And then I'll also send you the demo that I showed, which is an Excel sheet, Renee, and then you can shoot those out to students also.
Awesome.
So you'll have different ways to
both.
get that
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Sorry, I was confused about that.
No, totally okay. We welcome the questions. Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, if anybody else has any questions, go ahead and ask. Otherwise, I put the link to the chat or to the survey in the chat. Natalie, I think she reposted the link to the to the spreadsheet as well. And then once we conclude here, this workshop will also be live streamed. It has been live streamed to YouTube, so it'll also be available on our YouTube channel as well. So if you want to come back and review it and watch it again, you'll have that opportunity as well. And tell your friends. I mean, this is helpful information. Anybody can learn from it. So Jim and Sam are super helpful, and having the opportunity to share amongst ourselves is fantastic too. So thank you. And
question.
Yeah.
I know that it was mentioned that there's going to be a bullet journal workshop, and I was just wondering where I could find out more.
Oh yeah, sure. I will drop the CAPS Life Skills Workshop link in the chat box. If I can I do that? Let me see. I've had issues. Okay. No, see, that's not, is it the one? But all you need to do is go Counseling and Psychological Services and then Life Skills Workshops. But we're also on the SAMI app. So looking forward to seeing you all there.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming today. This concludes today's workshop. Again, thank you so much, Jima and Sam, for presenting today. And thank you, Renee and Talisha, for all the the background prep that came into doing this